depth of this regime, because it does two things, right? Takes out your command and control. Second, it sends a message to other people about whether they want to be a part of the past or part of the future, okay? Which is another way of saying, do you want to live or do you want to die? Can America go it alone and succeed? Is the president's messaging helping or hurting? Let's ask the executive director of the Urban Warfare Institute, John Spencer, and former deputy national security advisor in the first Trump administration, Victoria Coates. It's good to have you both always. Let's do strategy, then we'll do tactics. Victoria, on the strategic side, well, we couldn't tell them because I didn't trust them not to leak it. That's why we went alone. Is that compelling to you?
Well, Chris, good to be with you and good to see you, John. Now, I think that everyone was watching the Persian Gulf for the 3 or 4 weeks before this action. Everybody knew what was going to happen. And you can't tell me that there were no discussions at EUCOM or CENTCOM about what was happening. I mean, the Europeans were not caught off guard at all. The problem is they had no capacity to do anything. I mean, the UK, when first queried about this, said it was going to take them 2 weeks to get a destroyer to Cyprus from the United Kingdom. I mean, this is hardly the storied Royal Navy that we've heard about. I mean, it's really a pathetic capability. And I think, unfortunately, that's come as something as a shock to the United States, that it's not that Europe won't help, it's that they can't help.
John, help me understand this. I don't understand how anything is a surprise to anybody these days. But it's, oh, our allies don't have capabilities. Oh, Iran has all these cheap drones that can really hit targets in the Strait. I don't understand this. Where are these gaps of understanding coming from?
I mean, there is open source classified capabilities. Even if you go back from the 2024 attacks on Israel, many countries helping defend. In this case, it is a sad story on what's happened to NATO countries. Like Victoria said, the UK Army, I mean, it's less than it's been prior to World War I, all the way back into the 1800s. It has 6 destroyers, 2 aircraft carriers. I mean, I truly believe in Secretary Hegseth's comment about willing and able. The United States isn't alone in this. I mean, Israel has the second greatest air force that there is, and a demonstration of what that can be done, plus all of those countries. So is the statement we could do it without NATO? I think this is a signal to people like Russia on what are NATO's capabilities, both willingness and able.
Well, look, that's a fair point. On that, Victoria, the Russia question and the China question, which is the next level of implication here, there are reports that Russia is helping Iran with satellite imagery to target their drones. What does that mean to us in terms of the stakes?
Well, it's a really interesting question, Chris, because I would say if the Europeans have something to spend here, if they have capabilities, they should spend them on Ukraine. They should be taking care of the war that's taking place in their own continent and giving Russia more trouble so Russia can't supply additional drones to Iran. And this should be good for Ukraine, which has made some significant advances in the last couple of weeks. And so if you have Iran no longer capable of supplying additional drones to Russia, Russia having to tap their supplies to help Iran, this can be beneficial for Ukraine. And if I'm China and I'm looking at the combined strength of the United States and Israel in this joint campaign, I would hate to see a country like Japan, which is about to embark on a major rebuilding of their military, lash up to the United States that way if, God forbid, I made a move against Taiwan.
I'll tell you what, I'll tell you the cheap way to do it. Buy those drones. John, I'm telling you, I'm in the region, right? I won't, it doesn't matter where I was, but I start seeing the drones that have gotten knocked down or taken. They are so cheap. They have like weed whacker engines attached to them on the back, and they're able to carry a payload, though, where you got to take them out with munitions that cost hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. It's a really frightening situation that seems to be a little bit of a new reality for America in assessing this enemy. You're shaking your head no, but then help me understand, how did these capabilities wind up lasting this long in terms of their ability to shut the strait and use these drones so effectively if we knew about them?
So, I mean, I don't know if you got the update. The United States just dropped a 5,000-pound penetrator along the coastline of the Strait of Hormuz. While the drones are a threat, I mean, like you saw in northern Israel, you have to have an integrated air defense system. And if the United States ships that are there, they have plenty, from lasers to the Aegis to some of these can be shot down with a machine gun. I'm not saying they're not a threat. I'm saying that people that try to say that the United States military isn't prepared for that threat, it is a capacity thing. But as you saw in northern Israel, you have to have an integrated air defense systems to include the stuff that is changing that cost difference, right? A 50,000, $50,000 drone. What interceptor do you use? To what Israel is developing in the lasers and what people are. Soon this kind of difference in reality versus what the fear might be. And Ukraine has been fighting these for years now. And I agree that Ukraine gives us an immense capabilities to talk about the hierarchy of air defense systems to include drones that you can send up, interceptor drones that cost $1,000,
Right.
and you can put those up. I don't think that people haven't been thinking about this, Chris, but there is this is the ideal that the threat is greater than the solutions that we don't know about.
Victoria, back to the beginning. Okay, maybe the allies don't have the capabilities we hope they have or they need to have, but still, isn't there a good reason that America has never gone alone or gone this way in modern history? Isn't there a benefit to the alliance that must be realized because the president wants one, right?
Well, there will be, and there is. Chris, I mean, this is our first joint mission with Israel. We've spent the last 50 years making a historic American investment in the security of Israel. And what we are seeing playing out over the last 17 days is how that works jointly. Now, Israel's now in CENTCOM. All of this planning can take place in Tampa with our Arab partners and allies watching it if they wish to. And we have executed this extraordinary mission with one of our greatest allies, which has incredible capabilities. So we are far from doing this alone. And what we're seeing is the region, the Middle East, lining up behind the United States and Israel, except for the Iranians. So I am sorry that the Europeans, that what my old boss Don Rumsfeld would have called old Europe, isn't capable of participating. We're hearing lots of better noises out of what he would have called New Europe, saying that they might be able to participate, they might be able to help, but that they're also mindful of their own defenses. That's what we want to hear. So I don't think we are by any means isolated.
Victoria, one more quick thing, and I appreciate you both. Your experience with the president, knowing his process, what do you think the chance is that he got duped into going into Iran by a crafty IDF?
I think Israel has never tried to tempt us into a war. That's not their way. They actually tried to talk us out of it in January. So I mean, that is a bizarre narrative peddled by folks who don't want to see the strength of the United States-Israel relationship.
Victoria, Coates, thank you very much. John, Spencer, appreciate you both. Thank you for the insight and analysis, as always. Enjoy St. Paddy's Day. Not too much, Spencer. Break is 4 minutes and 30